A relentless, high energy, and gory Indian action film. Let's talk about Kill. Hi everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass, and I'm talking about Kill, which is coming to American theaters on July 4th, 2024. It is a new Indian action film that is relentless, it is high energy, it has plenty of action, and a little bit of heart too. My hot take is, I think you should watch later. I was kind of between a watch now and watch later. It straddles that line. I could go either way on it because it is a very exciting film. The things I loved about it are the action and the fighting. The way that they make this train feel so claustrophobic is very impressive. But for me, the story was just kind of so-so, and there was some bad CGI, well, not that much. So I could go either way. If you watch this, you'll probably enjoy it, especially if you're a fan of action movies. If you watch it later at home, you'll probably enjoy it too. So overall, I think my ultimate recommendation is to watch later. But again, I could have gone either way on this one. So if you're an action fan, if you love either Indian action movies or kind of like martial arts fighting movies, you'll probably like this one. So all that being said, I'm going to tell you a little about the film, a few things I liked, a few things I didn't like, and then really quickly go into the ending. So as you can imagine, there will be spoilers in the ending section. If you don't know what happens in this movie, and you might not, there are some surprises along the way. I would turn off when I get there. Before that, though, I'll keep it vague. I'll keep it spoiler-free. I'll let you know when I get to those spoilers. So in Kill, you've got two lovers, Tulika and Amrit. Amrit is a commando. He is a, elite soldier, and he is in love with Tulika, but her father has other plans for her. He arranges a marriage for her while Amrit is out on a mission, and when he comes back, he finds this out, goes to see her, and they arrange to meet up on this train going to New Delhi, where it seems like they might escape. She's going to New Delhi for the wedding, and it seems like maybe they are going to escape this whole situation. But when they get on this train, some other people, some other bandits have other ideas for this. So, things I liked about this movie. The first, I love the action. It's really good action. It is a fun, kind of like high energy martial arts action spectacle. It definitely has a lot of fighting. You got Amrit and his friend Varesh against 40 bandits. I mean, what else could you want? There's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of hand-to-hand combat, a lot of knife play, and it's really, really good. It's really intense. It's really exciting. Second thing I love the gore. This is, I think, the goriest movie that India has ever produced, and it definitely shows there is a lot of violence in this one. It is definitely something that is pushing the envelope for Indian cinema, and I love it. It was a lot of fun, and it looked really good. It looked very, very good. The third thing I love the music. You got intense action. You might as well have intense music, and it definitely kind of like ups the excitement, ups the intensity during these like high energy action shots, and it definitely kind of like keeps you going. I mean, this film is on a train. The train is moving. The brakes have been disabled, and when it's going, the music helps you to feel that like relentless pace that the train is on. And the last thing I love the cinematography. They do an amazing job of making this train feel claustrophobic, feel confined, but still give you a good sense of what the action is. I read some of the notes. They like create an entire train car that had places where people could they could film it, and then had a lot of padding to make sure everything was safe. It is definitely a feat, and the way that they use the camera to make you feel that claustrophobia and kind of like choreograph the fighting within the confines of a train, it's really great. It's really, really fun to see. So all that being said, things I didn't love as much about this movie. The first, I'm going to go with the story. I mean, they did write a story that does give you enough information for why they're on the train, why these bandits are here, why some of the stuff escalates. It is there, but it feels almost like the bare bones. And maybe that's all you can have, right? The film is already a fairly long amount. There's a lot of action. Maybe that's all the story they could put. But to me, it felt like the story was just kind of like the bare minimum to get there. And maybe some of that is cultural. Maybe I didn't get some of the cultural references. Maybe I didn't get some of the importance of some things. But for me, it felt like the story was just a vehicle for the action. And maybe that's okay. Maybe that's all you want. But for me, I wanted a little bit more. The second thing I didn't love as much, there's a little bit of bad CG. Not a lot. Not a lot of bad CG, but there's a little bit. A lot of the effects are practical. They're gore, they're prosthetics, things like that. But there are a few CG scenes involving fire and gunfire that don't look great. Thankfully, there are only a few of them, so you don't have to worry too much about it. The last thing I didn't love as much, I really liked kind of the camaraderie, the buddy aspect, the camaraderie between Amrit and Varesh, but that doesn't last very long. And so I wish it was a little bit more. I wish there was a little bit more of that. It was fun to see them together. It was fun to see them like fighting together, seeing their training working together. And I wish that they had like prolonged that. So all that being said, Kill comes to US theaters on July 4th, 2024. Like I said, I think you should watch it later. But again, I could have gone either way. If you check it out in theaters, let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked and didn't like. I would love to hear. And I'm going to really quickly go into the ending right now. So if you don't know what happens in this movie, I would turn it off now because there'll be spoilers. So, like I said, Amrit and Varesh are commandos. They are out on a mission. They come back. Amrit checks his phone. His phone is blowing up from text from Tulika. She's saying that her father arranged a marriage. It's happening tomorrow. Where is he? What's he going to do? He goes to the arranged marriage, and when he gets there, it's really weird. Think he'd be like, "Hey, let's get out of here." And she plays coy. She's like, "We can't do it here, but I'm on a train to New Delhi tomorrow." So I guess rather than have it at the big ceremony, maybe that would have been a big embarrassment. Maybe that's why they decide to meet up on this train, and I guess that is where they will disembark. So unfortunately, these lovers and Varesh are not the only ones on this train. There are 40 bandits, thugs, things like that that are here getting ready. The main one we see is this person named Fani. He is this like nonchalant, charismatic character. He seems fairly regular, but he seems to be like one of the ringleaders of this whole thing. And I guess I didn't 100% understand what these bandits were. I guess they were just there to rob. I wasn't sure if there was a bigger plan, like a bigger target. It didn't seem like it because they did eventually like latch onto Tulika's father, who was the head of this like large transportation company. I guess he was like apparently a big deal. And so it didn't seem like they had a specific plan for like a specific jewel or a specific passion they were targeting. I think they were just there to steal a bunch of stuff and get off. Fani seems to be getting ready now. Amrit and Tulika do sneak away. They get into a bathroom, and that is when Amrit proposes to her. It is a cute scene, not the best place. I mean, it's a bathroom on a train, not the like iconic, beautiful scene, but it's enough for Tulika. She says yes. So now they are engaged. She switches her ring from the ring that her arranged marriage gave her to the one that Amrit gives her. After this, Amrit and Tulika go back, and that is when all heck breaks loose. The bandits like pop out, 36 or 40 of them come out and start like causing havoc, stealing from people. Like they have weapons. They've got some knives and a couple guns, and so they start stealing from people, causing havoc on the train. And originally, Amrit and Varesh were going to just kind of like let it go. Like they're outnumbered. What are they going to do? But the bandits key in on Tulika's family. They recognize the father as the owner of this big company, and so they're going to ransom him off. And that is when Amrit and Varesh kind of jump into action. They fight off. And so they fight, and in the process, the dad of one of the bandits, like one of the older bandits, is killed. Now, during the fights, Varesh gets kind of subdued by the other people. Amrit is able to get away, and so Varesh now becomes like a hostage. Like Fani like goes in and he stabs him in the shoulder. He takes him hostage, and so now Varesh is their prisoner. And again, like I said, I was a little sad. It was fun to see Amrit and Varesh fight. Like Varesh had like a nonchalant style to him. That was a lot of fun. It was fun to see them like combine together and fight. And so when he went out fairly early, I was like, that kind of sucks. Like I liked him. I liked having both of them there. And it seems like it would be more, I don't know, understandable if they were both there fighting versus just Amrit. But in the event, Varesh is now a hostage. They pull up to a stop, and a new person comes on. It seems like it's the regular. It's the dad of Fani, and he gets very upset that his brother, I think brother or brother-in-law, I think brother-in-law, is dead. That causes a lot of anger. That causes a lot of excitement. And so that person beats up Varesh, trying to get some more information about who's on there. Varesh doesn't crack, but he gets very, very beaten up. Amrit is trying to help his friend. He's fighting, through the train, taking people out, but he is not killing them. I mean, he's like hurting them. He is like subduing them, but he is taking cuts left and right. It would be much more efficient if he was just like stabbing, but he doesn't want to do that. He's still good. He's still inherently good. So he is trying to get there. Now, when a couple of the bandits kind of beat up Amrit and are kind of like subduing him, that's when Varesh escapes. He starts fighting. He starts to like help out as well. But now Varesh also gets subdued. And these two kids that we met earlier that both wanted to be in the army, like one of them was like, I want to be in the army. And Amrit was like, you should do it. Well, now they see their chance. They come out. They try to help Amrit and Varesh, who are both kind of subdued. And in the process, one of them gets stabbed, like right in the stomach. Not good for him. So this causes Amrit to kind of like get a little bit, get a surge of energy. He starts fighting back. There is this big guy that they are all trying to fight. He is much larger than everyone. He seems to be able to take a lot more punishment. He is actually strangling Amrit, and Amrit breaks his finger and starts punching him, trying to subdue him. Now, during all of this, Tulika is held hostage and she tried to escape. She tries to like run off the train. Fani follows her. Now, Tulika has a knife and she tries to like slash at Fani. I think she slashes his arm. And this upsets Fani. Fani doesn't like to be, I guess, challenged. And so he then just stabs Tulika. And you're like, oh, that was a surprise. That wasn't supposed to happen. And then he like stabs her again. And then she like turns around looking in the mirror. She like puts her hand on the window. It's like blood all over her hand. She's looking at Amrit and finally just like stabs her in the neck. And you're like, oof, that was surprising, right? Like this is the love interest. She is killed, I don't know, like third into the movie. It was pretty shocking. Maybe it was more like just before half. And then finally just like throws her off the train. This understandably angers Amrit. And so he now decides that he is going to kill. Before this, he wasn't killing, he was just subduing. Now he just goes all out and just like stab, 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 just like killing people efficiently, very efficiently, brutally. He is hacking at people. One time he like grabs a fire extinguisher and bashes someone's head in. It is gory, it is exhilarating, it is fun. And you're also like, Amrit, why didn't you do this earlier? Like you were way outnumbered. You could have maybe made a dent. Now it's a little bit too late. Your love is already dead, but he finally cracks, and now he is fighting as well. So seeing Amrit kind of enraged, a lot of the bandits retreat back and trying to figure out what to do next. They're like, oh, let's just let them go. Like we'll get out of there. And the father, Bonnie's father, who came on at that one stop, was like, we can't. The business owner, his name is it's like Baldur Singh Thakur. He said he will not let us leave. Like they will hunt us down. So they feel like they have to do something. They have to, make sure there's no witnesses. I mean, no Amrit, no Varesh, no Baldur, and no other witnesses as well. So now the bandits are super concerned. Now Amrit goes to look for Ahina, who is the sister of Tulika. She went earlier before the bandits attacked to like a different train, so she's been kind of hiding from them. They don't know who she is. So she's been trying to hide, but Amrit wants to make sure that she's safe. So he goes to look for her. Varesh stays back to help defend the family. And the bad guys, because they are now concerned, they want to get all the information they can. They want to find out where these members are. They start beating everyone up on the train, trying to get the information. So what Amrit does, he wants to, I think, affect the bandits' morale. He wants to like break them. So he uses some interesting tactics. He like hangs the bodies of all the people he's killed. And there's like 7 or 8, I think, in one of the trains. So as the bandits are looking for him, they go into this train car and they're just like bodies hanging everywhere. And you're like, whoa, like that is intense. Like hats off to you, Amrit. Good job. And also he uses this to fight because he is like hiding. And when all the people are like so, angered and saddened by these bodies, like they're all crying. You're like, you're bandits. You jumped on a train. Like, what do you think was going to happen? You were killing people. Like, what do you think was going to happen? But all these bandits are now crying. They're realizing what happened. And that is when Amrit starts to attack and he starts to like fight between these bodies. It is another fun scene. It is another like good action scene. So after, this fight scene, after, Amrit crushes their morale, they all kind of retreat back. All the bandits retreat back. And the dad is like, why'd you do that, Fani? Like, no more, basically, like, no more of your shit, Fani. Like, you killed that girl. Why? And Fani's like, you and your principles. We are bandits. Like, there's nothing else we could do. And so the dad is upset that Fani killed her and like caused Amrit to get into this rage. And Fani's like, whatever, we're bandits. Like, we do what we need to. We need to get quick money. So after this, the rest of the family, the rest of Tulika's family say they want to help. They say, like, if we had helped earlier, maybe, she would be alive. And so they go and they set a fire on the train. And the reason for this is that when the train passes a watchtower, someone in the watchtower will seize the fire, calls it into the train, and the train security guards, who apparently is just the front of the train, just chilling during when all this is happening. Apparently, no one told them that there was like violence going on. They get that note and they go to investigate. So now there's a few more people. There's a few more guards. They don't last long. They do help. They do come in and help fight the bandits, but they get killed fairly quickly. So eventually, Bashir and Fani start to fight. They have a fight, but Bashir is fairly beaten up. He's already been stabbed a couple times. Fani only has like a cut on his arm, so he's pretty fresh. Bashir is kind of exhausted and beaten down. And so during the fight, Fani eventually like stabs Bashir in the chest and just like from behind. Like he's got Bashir on top of him, stabs him in the chest, just blood everywhere. It is a very gory scene, and unfortunately Bashir is now dead. And again, I liked Bashir. I wanted him to have some more fight scenes. I wanted more like Amrit and Bashir fighting together. That was a lot of fun at the start, and then it feels like we just didn't get any of that after. And during this, Amrit is eventually captured and is taken to Fani. Now, Fani and his father are fighting. Remember, Fani's father is upset with him for killing people and being basically a loose cannon, and Fani is upset with his father for like trying to rein him in when there's all this craziness going on. Well, eventually, Amrit is captured, but he escapes. He attacks Fani's father, and he kills him in a very violent way. He takes a like thing of lighter fluid that he had, stuffs it down Fani's father's mouth, and lights it on fire. And so Fani's father just like goes up, his head goes up in flames. And this was again not a great scene. It was fairly clearly CG. It didn't look terrible, but it definitely clearly looks CG. So he's like he's writhing. They finally get it out. When it's out, his like face is all red and whatnot. So it seems like his father is not going to make it. So now it's just Amrit and Fani now, and they start arguing. And Fani's like, what are you like? Who kills like this? And Fani's like, I killed 4 of your people. You killed 40 of my family. Oh, too bad, Fani. You should have thought about that before you jumped on this train. So Amrit is already kind of worn down from this, and Fani is definitely fresher. So during the fight, Fani is quick. He like stabs him a bunch. Amrit takes like 6 or 7 knife wounds. And eventually it looks like he's gonna get killed. He's down. Fani's kind of on top of him, and he taunts him. He says, like, this is how I killed your little Miss Sunshine. And that is kind of the last straw for Amrit. He has a hammer. He hits Fani on the foot with a hammer, which like probably breaks some toes. Fani screams, and then Amrit uppercuts him with a hammer. And then when Fani's on the ground hurt, Amrit just like pounds him a bunch of times in the chest as he's trying to like walk away. After he hits him a bunch, he then like pummels Fani in the face over and over with his hands, just turning him into what I imagine a bloody mess. So seems like now Fani's dead. Seems like all the bandits are dead. Amrit survived, but Tulika and Bashir didn't. So at the next station, the train halts. The police all get on to like see the damage, and Amrit is somehow still alive, although I don't know. I think maybe he's not, because he goes out on the train. He's been stabbed a bunch. He stumbles out of the train. No one comes to give him, aid, which I thought was weird. Like, he had all these medical people coming around. You'd think they would stop to give him aid. He like stumbles off the train and sits on a bench, and next to him is Tulika. And Tulika grabs his hand and she says, do I have to die to be with you? I want to live my life with you, Captain Rathod, which is Amrit's last name and his rank. And so I don't know. Maybe he's dead. I think maybe he's dead. Maybe he kind of like succumbed to his injuries and now they are together. Like, he finally took out Fani, but maybe either he succumbed to his injuries on the train, or he is on the bench dying and he's seeing his love and now they're going to be together. I'm not certain. She definitely didn't survive from the train, so she is definitely dead. And now he's seeing her and she's saying that they want to spend their lives together. So I think maybe he's dead. Maybe that was the ending. Maybe they're now together in whatever, either the afterlife or the next life, whatever you believe. So that is Kill. Like I said, I liked it a lot. The action was great. The gore was wonderful. The music was good. The cinematography was really, really good. So there's a lot here that you would like if you are an action fan. Hey, check it out. My ultimate recommendations, I think you should watch later, but again, I was between recommendations on this. But if you do check it out, it is coming to theaters on July 4th, 2024. And thanks so much for watching. If you like this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watch Your Pass, and I'm talking to you about Kill, which is coming to American theaters on July 4th, 2024. What was that?